The year is 1482. Portuguese explorers, driven by the allure of gold, reached the shores of what is now Ghana. They called it the Gold Coast, a name that would become synonymous with the wealth they sought. They were not explorers seeking new lands, but traders hungry for riches. Their arrival marked the beginning of Europe's long and complicated relationship with Ghana. The Portuguese, eager to tap into the gold resources, wasted no time in establishing trading posts along the coast. These outposts became bustling centers of commerce. They traded for gold with the Akan people, a powerful group in the region. The Akan, skilled goldsmiths and traders themselves, were open to this new partnership. They saw an opportunity in this exchange, a way to increase their own wealth and influence. This initial period of trade was marked by a sense of mutual benefit, a far cry from the darker turn that would soon follow. As decades passed, a sinister shift occurred in the relationship between the Portuguese and the Akan. The demand for gold, though still present, was being eclipsed by a more horrific trade, the trade in human beings. By the 1500s, the transatlantic slave trade had become a gruesome reality. The Portuguese, along with other European powers, turned their attention to this new source of profit. African men, women and children were torn from their homes, shackled and forced onto ships bound for the Americas. The once bustling trading posts transformed into holding pens for enslaved Africans. The horrors of the transatlantic slave trade left an indelible stain on the history of Ghana. It ripped apart families, decimated communities, and created a legacy of pain and suffering that would echo for generations. This dark chapter would forever alter the destiny of Ghana. No structure embodies the tragedy of the slave trade more starkly than Elmina Castle. Built by the Portuguese in the 15th century, Elmina Castle stands as a haunting reminder of the inhumanity of this trade. Located on the Ghanaian coast, it was one of the most significant slave trading posts in West Africa. Within the castle's walls, unimaginable cruelty unfolded. Enslaved Africans were crammed into dark, airless dungeons, their cries for mercy echoing unanswered. The castle's door of no return, through which thousands passed, knowing they would never see their homeland again, stands as a chilling reminder of the trade's brutality. Elmina Castle, preserved as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, serves as a solemn monument to the millions who suffered and died during the transatlantic slave trade. It is a stark reminder of the horrors inflicted in the name of profit, a past that Ghana and the world must never forget. The Portuguese dominance on the Gold Coast, however, would not last. By the mid-17th century, their influence began to wane. Other European powers, enticed by the profits of the slave trade, began to challenge their supremacy. In 1642, the Dutch, after years of rivalry with the Portuguese, seized Elmina Castle, effectively ending Portuguese control of the Gold Coast. This marked the end of their direct involvement in the region, but the legacy of their presence, particularly in the trade of enslaved Africans, continued to cast a long shadow. Despite their departure, the Portuguese had irrevocably altered the course of Ghana's history. The transatlantic slave trade, initiated during their time, had a devastating impact on the region's demographics, economy, and social fabric. This exploitation paved the way for subsequent European colonization, culminating in British rule. It would be centuries before Ghana would once again chart its own destiny, finally achieving independence in 1957. The road to freedom was long and arduous, paved with the struggles of a people determined to overcome the painful legacy of their past.